Story title: The Silent Witness. It was a chilly evening when Emma decided to take a different route home. The sun had already set, casting long shadows over the quiet street. Her usual path was always crowded, but today, she felt like she needed some time alone, some space to think. Little did she know, this decision would change everything. As she walked through the dimly lit alley, her phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. Hesitant, she answered. Emma said, "Hello?" trying to keep her voice steady. "Emma, you need to leave the alley. Now." A hurried voice whispered on the other end. Startled, she stopped in her tracks. "Who is this? What do you mean?" The voice grew more urgent. "Don't ask questions. Just go. It's not safe." Before Emma could respond, the call ended abruptly. Confused and a little shaken, she glanced around. The alley was eerily quiet, but nothing seemed out of place. She tried to shake off the uneasy feeling creeping up her spine. "It's probably a prank," she thought. But the words echoed in her mind, "It's not safe." Deciding to ignore it, she kept walking. But as she took another step, she noticed something strange. A shadow, flickering behind a dumpster. It was as though someone was watching her. Her heart raced. Just as Emma began to feel the first wave of panic, her phone buzzed again. She didn't recognize the number, but something urged her to answer. Suddenly, her phone rang again, but this time it wasn't a voice on the other side. Instead, she heard her own voice, soft and clear, saying, "You didn't listen. Now it's too late." Her heart stopped. She froze in place, feeling the weight of the words wrap around her like a cold blanket. But before she could fully process what had just happened, the phone call ended, leaving her in a deep silence. Emma turned around slowly, her pulse racing, her mind in a whirlwind. But no one was there. The street was empty, almost too empty. The streetlights flickered overhead, casting long, eerie shadows across the pavement. For a moment, she thought she might be losing her grip on reality. Then, just as she was about to breathe a sigh of relief, she heard it, a faint noise, like the soft scrape of footsteps on concrete. Slowly, she turned her head toward the alley where she had come from. There, standing at the entrance of the alley, was a figure. A man, tall and menacing, dressed in black. His face was obscured by the shadows, but the outline of his body was unmistakable. Her breath caught in her throat. The man didn't move, but his presence was suffocating. Emma's heart thudded in her chest as the memory of the warning, the voice on the phone, flashed in her mind. "It's not safe." Without thinking, she ran. She didn't know where she was going, but her feet moved faster than her thoughts, propelling her down the street. Her eyes darted around, searching for a place to hide. Her mind screamed, "What do I do now?" Then, in the distance, she saw a figure, another person, standing in the middle of the street. It was a woman, dressed in a long coat, her face hidden under a hood. She didn't move, just stood there, waiting. Emma hesitated for a moment, then approached cautiously. As she drew nearer, the woman turned her head slightly, and Emma gasped. It was the same voice, the same warning she had heard on the phone earlier. "You're not safe," the woman whispered, her voice low but clear. "He's always been here. Watching you." Suddenly, the streetlights flickered one last time before going out completely, plunging the street into darkness. Emma felt the cold breath of someone behind her. She turned around, but no one was there. The woman in front of her smiled faintly, as though she had expected this all along. "It's never just a warning, Emma," she said. "It's the beginning.